Yo, shalom. All praises to the Most High. Yehoshua, this is Sound Some YYBY. Alright, listen up, you dog using bastards. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to give y'all some information a little bit about Reason. You know, I did a video that I, show a whole bunch of features that Studio One has over Reason. So I found a few of them. It was a daggone struggle, but I got a few of them that Reason, that Studio One don't have, that Reason has. All right, so now I'm not about to go in detail with them. You know, you can kind of find out certain things yourself. You know, I'm gonna just talk about them, go through them real quick. I don't want this to be a crazy long video. All right, the number one thing is wire routing. Wire routing. Why is this dope and why is this important? Because now you can go on levels of creations of sound creating. You can go on levels of ideas, creating all type of ideas, different sounds. You'll be surprised what the hell you can come up with dealing with these wires in the back of Reason. I'm telling you, man. You come up with some shit on some shit. Facts. Sometimes when you think this dog can't do certain things, if you really on another level of dealing with the wiring, like you got artists who come up with some crazy stuff. Like, for example, let me see where it's at. Let me go inside my folder and let me go inside of effects. Hold on, is it combinators? Let me go inside combinators. And this is one boy on the internet who created a crazy joint. Like, he created a crazy pulverizer from wiring it in a certain way and using it with the combinator. I think this is it right here. He created a 3-band pulverizer. You gotta remember, pulverizer is already dope. It's already hard, just itself. And he created a 3-band pulverizer and it looked remarkable. And when you just bring the device down, he got this thing rigged up on a whole nother level right here. It's crazy. Like, I had to look at the rigging and everything. So the point is that you can come up with some crazy stuff using the rig and using the combinator than any DAW that's out. Any DAW. Yeah, Studio One has the multi-instruments, and they got the splitter where you can, put sound, you can put effects in a different way where you can split it from the different frequencies in multi-band way and to the left or the right. But it's not on this level as the combinator, yo. So wire routing is on a whole nother level, and there's no other DAW that's touching this, that's close. The only DAW I can say that's for a fact that's dealing with this level or close is Bitwig. Because Bitwig has the joint called because I got Bitwig. It's I forgot what it's called. It's like a new joint they built where you can create your own sounds with the synthesis and everything. It's crazy, man. All right, so that's one. All right, number two, built-in effects on the mixer. When you go to the mixer, this helped the workflow pretty fast because every mixer got, a compressor, a gate, expander, EQ, a basic EQ, and a gain knob already built in on the track. So therefore, you can focus on doing things pretty quick. Like, for example, when you press F2, it pop up the EQ. You can do some quick boom, roll off, boom, like basic stuff to make that music sound clear as you create and as you going. And then on top of that, you can go to each track real quick. So, having effects already built in the mixer, the process in digital form on DAWs, it actually is pretty fast to me. Like, before I didn't too much care about this until I start back using Reason. And now it's like I love it. I can't go away with it because, again, regardless if I'm using these, because I record with these on. I record with a gate and a light compression coming in the vocals. That's my way of recording through the vocals. So it's already controlling the vocals, and it's not recorded. It's not embedded in the vocals, so I still can go back and tweak everything. And I still go back when I'm mixing. I still go to each track when I'm mixing and still add EQs, compressors, whatever I'm using, A, B, C, and D. So yeah. So the built-in effects on the tracks is already, tough, man, with workflow. Just right there already for you to make the music sound good without even going to anything else. and also got a built-in master compressor, which we call a, that squeeze that music together before you finish mastering. Before you start mastering, right? So, another feature is, and this is important to me. It's called application zoom. You can make your DAW smaller or bigger. You can make it huge, whatever it is. You can go to 120. You can make this thing huge, whatever, smaller, based on to your eyes. People who got bad eyes, whatever it is, you're dealing with a DAW. See how huge you can make that? It's based on your the size of your, your application. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna put y'all on game, right? When you're dealing with the resolution of your DAW, of the computer, when you change that resolution, it changes the resolution of all your software. Everything on your computer, it changes the resolution. Some things you probably don't want to change the resolution of, and sometimes it affects certain things because if it's not compatible with 4K, and then it look horrible, it look blurry, it look horrible if you change the resolution. And then on top of that, when you're changing the resolution on your regular computer, it affects certain plugins. If they're not compatible with 4K, you'll have problems, sluggishness. You'll have what they call it, crash. They're causing the crash because they're not compatible with it. But when you're dealing with already have the zoom already inside of the DAW, that's very important because you can go up and down. Now it'd be great if they put zoom, for individual things like the mixer, the sequencer, and the rack. Definitely, like the rack, definitely make the rack. But but dealing with the rack, it makes that bigger and smaller. So you can see something very huge in your eyes, or you can make it. Let's go to zoom again. You can take it down to 80%, and you can see more of hold up, damn it, come on, man, bootleg shit. All right, so you can see it small like this based on your screen size. And on top of it, this is great when, if you say you got your computer, you got your desktop, your screen is large. And then you go somewhere, you go out of town, you take your laptop is a small screen. You could change the zoom of it to fit, properly where you can see more of it. You see what I'm saying? That's why this is very important, people. That's why that feature is very important, man. And I like that. Let's keep going. Searching all folders. Reason, man, is search every folder at one time. Fast. Well, I like that. One time. Let me change my resolution back. Hold on. Where's my zoom? Let me go back to 110. As you see right here, you got all the reason stuff right here. I got my desktop. I got my own folders, beats, sessions, mastering, song, effects, where I got a whole bunch of sounds and samples in here, loops. I got a music folder, Lost Leaders music folder, my own presets, download refills. I got all my own folders. When I just go up here and type this in and just say all locations, and come out that joint, it's going to, if I type in anything, it's going to search through all those folders. Instead of going to this folder, search through, going to this folder, search through, going to that folder, search through. Like, come on, man. So you can search in all the folders, man. And yes, certain DAWs, they search all their folders that come with the stock of the DAW, but not searching all the folders that you created in your own, on your external drive. Like, let's keep it going. The hardware rack vibe. When you're dealing with Reason, you got the rack. This rack right here, it's just the vibe of it. Make you feel like you're dealing with analog and dealing with, modern music at the same time. It's just that style that take you to a whole different perspective of music and everything. Some people want to deal with it. It's built for some people. And most of y'all scared of it, man. Let's be real. Most of y'all scared of that vibe, man. Most of y'all scared of that vibe, man. That's a fact. So the hardware, everything just look hardware, like the tape stop, everything. Even, this look like the hardware, like the SSL, even though it's not made by the SSL, but it got that vibe, It got that beautiful, wonderful vibe, man. That's dope. Let's keep going. Hyperthreading. Now, DAWs have an option where you can, you can do your hyperthreading and everything. But what I like about what Reason has is that you have an option now where you could change and select how many threads you want to select. based on what your computer has. Now read this and say, use more threads for more processing power. Use fewer to leave room for other apps or multi-core VSTs. So sometimes you don't want to have this always to the max. Sometimes you want to have it at 11 or 10 for room for other things. Some dogs just got it max. There's no options. You can't change nothing. No, you don't have no control. It's, but you have more control over your max audio threads now based on what your computer have and what's built in your computer. So I actually like this feature when they change it to like this, because there's no other DAW that has this option like this. Now, Studio One do have an option which is remarkable as far as like, the audio card, your regular audio card, your sample rate can be low when you're recording and playing instruments. So you don't have to change that. Now you got the other side where you can bring that up higher. That's for playback options. Now that's dope. That's something that Reason should put in theirs. But when it comes to the options of the audio threads, Studio One don't have that. All right, let's keep going. Stock Autotune. Studio One don't even have an Autotune. Does not have a Autotune at all. So stock Autotune right here. This thing is nice. Look nice, built nice. Stock Autotune. Like, this is a common thing in this industry, that people use the Autotune and come on now. Like, so they don't have a stock Autotune. Also, number 8, built-in vocal tuning. Now Studio One does come with Melodyne, a smaller version of Melodyne, and Melodyne is actually powerful, but that's not made by Studio One. So, it's a fact that sometimes you get sluggishness from that third-party ARE version for years. Sometimes you get sluggishness. That's a fact. Also, that if Studio One and Melodyne, cut their contract with each other, then Melodyne won't be in Studio One no more. So you won't have no pitch correction, because that can happen. But inside of Studio One, Reason, it has its own one that's already built in, right here. Has its own one that's already built in that you could do. And, people want to go in detail with vocals. You shouldn't have to go in detail with vocals with somebody singing. If you got to go in details with super crazy details with somebody singing, that mean they horrible. That mean they need to do that shit over and go to class and learn how to sing. And they not trying to pay no money, to fix their vocals on that level. It's kind of impossible. I know I'm mixed people. They just sound horrible. But, this is decent. It's pretty nice. You can always go back, and it's nice. It's built nice, man. It works pretty well, man. All right, let's keep going. Also, number 9, Reason's being analog and having the rack and the way it's made and designed, and the only DAW in the industry that's designed like this, it actually teaches y'all how to deal with analog when you go to bigger studios. And let's be real, when you go to bigger studios, they still have their racks in the studio. They might don't use every rack or use it as much like they used to, but I've been in bigger top studios, in Atlanta and LaFace Records and whatever. They still use their racks. They still got pole text EQs. Like, what the hell, man? Like, hold on, let's turn this off, man. Like, this thing is... Like, so... They have... doing the video, that's when everything want to ring and go crazy and all that shit, man. So, it's been a lot of people who have articles talked about by them using the SSL on here. They were able to understand the SSL in a bigger studio easily and learn and know how to rig it up. So all y'all want to be engineers in the studio and stuff like that, you're gonna have to learn how to rig some things up and deal with the wires in the back of those studios, because these bigger studios, they use that type of stuff. Even if they're using Pro Tools or whatever they're using, like, they still use their Potex and all these popular analog hardware things that they still use to this day that sound great. Cost $4,000 to $6,000, man. So Reason teach you that. When you look at the wires in back of, when you're dealing with the wires in back of Man, I hate dealing with these daggone videos, man. Like, because this shit suck, bro. Because the audio card is worse, man. Like, man, let me take this off, man. Like, it just smooth sluggish sometimes. But anyway, all right. So when you're dealing with, you know, the wires like this is the same way it is when you go back, you know, behind the rack. So it's just that simple. So you teach it's teaching you at the same time. It's a lot of things inside Reason that teaches you music. It teaches you the notes of music. You know, some dogs just give you the tools just to do it. But you know, Reason got certain tools like in their players and everything. Not only it just give you, you know, how to do it, but it teaches you at the same time. Let's keep going. Number 10. Retro plug-in tape. Retro plug-in tape. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see. I think it's this or what else? What was that? The retro plug-in tape. I think I know what it is. Hold on. I got the browser open or anything? Browser? No, it's not even browser open around here, man. Damn bastard. Give me one second, y'all. This right here, the Audiomatic, the retro joint. They kind of give you that straight analog vibe and everything that's already inside of Studio One. You know, this thing sound great, man. They give you all that analog feel, the effects of tape players and record players and all that type of stuff, man, when you want music to sound that way. So this is already made inside of Reason. Already made inside of Reason. I won't say this because this is a RE. This is the third, but this is RE. You know, even though that's still great, but that's free, but it's still RE. I'm only talking about things that's already built inside of Studio One. I mean, inside of Reason. Sorry about that. All right, let's keep going. So you got that. Another thing, bass generator. Bass generator. This thing right here, I'm not going to go into detail. Just go watch the video on it. This is hard. Bass generator come up with some crazy ideas and everything when you're dealing with patterns, because, you know, a lot of people who use FL Studio, they like to use a lot of patterns and type their notes in and everything. So this is an option that's focused on bass. That bass. And when you drop it in, it automatically create a sound module, even if you're not using some of the instruments. If you don't use some of these instruments and drop this bass generator on there, it will create a sound module where you can go through and, you know, all that type of stuff. But the bass generator, this thing is tough, man. So that's already a plugin that's already built in that it has. Let's keep going. The Polystep sequencer. What's that? The Polystep sequencer. The Polystep sequencer. The Polystep sequencer. Now, Studio One has a sequencer where you can type notes in, but not when it comes to like a poly jump. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can come up with some crazy notes. This will teach you how to type in chords and notes. And then on top of that, has a crazy alter where you could just do random, just alter anything and just alter out random and just come up with some crazy sound and just play it. Like, you know, and just, you can put that note into whatever you're making and playing in the music. So this is another way when you want to type in chords and everything, if you don't understand the, you know, the science of music and everything, and it creates a sound module for you that it automatically connects to it. So crazy ideas. Let's keep going. The pattern mutator. Let's go to that right quick. A pattern mutator. Now, you know, it has patterns, but this right here is crazy. So you could just actually, you know, whatever you had it connected to, which is a piano right here connected to. And you'd be surprised based on what you set the tempo, you could record it. So I could press record, run. So it's gonna keep looping that, and then I can just bring it over to the mutation and just mutate that, and it'll make it into another crazy form. You know, it don't make, it's crazy, man. It's kind of like what they call that, man, that Studio One has, man, and other DAWs have. It's like I forgot what it's called, man, but it kind of reads the information before, but it creates it in a whole crazy way. But this is a dope tool, the pattern mutator, man. Help come up with crazy ideas, man. Okay, now, vocoder. Studio One finally got a vocoder, but what it don't have is that when you're using this vocoder inside Reason has something where you can actually play this vocoder with your notes, with your sound. You can actually rig this up a certain way where you can play it on the keys, like how they do Computer Love. You know, how you could do Computer Love. So you can trigger the vocoder with the sound of the vocals. Now go watch the video of Computer Love when he was playing the guitar with the Autotune, and he had the tube in his mouth, and he was actually playing the music with it. Cause it's cool to put an Autotune on vocals. It's cool to put an Autotune on whatever, but sometimes when you can play the Autotune as you listening to the vocals, that creates a whole nother level of idea, bro. And not only this vocoder can do that, but the Autotune Neptune that I showed you earlier can do that too. So you can trigger that and play it that way. You could do it before or you could do it after when you're about to mix or whatever. So that, you know, there's no DAW I seen can do that besides Reason. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And the reason why they can do that is because of the rig, how it's rigged up, how you can rig it up. All right, auto name tracks and combinating multi-instruments. Like I like about, you know, Reason is that it auto names everything, man. You know, Studio One do that to a certain degree, but when you're doing multi-instruments and when it comes to the mixer tracks, it doesn't name when you're dropping those instruments in the company, you know, dropping those instruments in the multi-track. You got to sit there and name everything. You know, it should automatically name it based on the preset. You know, it should automatically name it based on the preset. So when you're trying to, it's a workflow, you're trying to get ideas out real quick. And when you open up the mixer inside inside Studio One, and you're looking at it, you got to expand it, and you got like 10 multi-instruments with no name, just blank. And now you got to go open it up to see which one it is so you can name them, so you can see them on the mixer. You know, it's not like that, with Reason. Reason name everything. Everything you drop in is going to have the name already built in for you automatically. So that helps a lot. Another feature is this tough thing right here. The Polar Dual Pitch Shifter. Now, Studio One do have pitch shift feature where you can go to a sample, change the feature, change the pitch of it and everything, but not a dual one, where these two right here can have two different levels of, one could be a higher pitch, one could be a lower pitch, a deep pitch or talking, or a lower pitch or whatever. And you could do this in rhythm. You could do this in a whole nother level. So they don't have no dual pitch. This is, when you play with this, I used to sleep on this. I was crazy. I was bugging out. Don't sleep on this. This is on a whole nother level of coming up with crazy ideas when you're doing music with people and everything. That's a fact. So a dual pitch, no. They got to step that up real quick ASAP. Another thing they don't have is a feature of a sound module. Now, the sound module inside of, I'm going to tell you why this sound module inside of Reason is very important. Check this out. This right here that you've seen before. Now, this is just a sound module. It's a basic sound module with pianos, electric piano, organs, guitars, bass, blah, blah, blah. But this is very dope when it comes to when you're dropping MIDI files inside of your DAW. You know, when you drop the MIDI files into your inside of Reason, man, it literally read and can read what instrument that MIDI file is, and also it adds a sound to it automatically. And let me show y'all, because I got so many, I got so many MIDI files, it's crazy, man. So I'm gonna go to, because I don't want to play nothing that it might you know, it might be copyright, whatever. So let me try to find something that, there's so many MIDI files in here, it takes a minute to read this crap. Like, I'm gonna be real now, that's one thing with the browser that's slow, you know, that I don't like. Come on, man. And it's really this audio card thing that I'm using to do the video. That's really causing these problems and everything, because when I'm using my regular sound card, I don't have these problems, man. That's the weird thing about it. Like, so now it's gonna be even slower. Oh my goodness, man. Really? This killing the vibes. So now I gotta wait. I really gotta wait. They bugging. They are bugging. All right, so now anyway, that wasn't that bad, but so when you want to deal with MIDI, like I got MIDI files. See, I got MIDI files of every genre of even artists and everything. Like, so if I open up this folder right here, I don't know what this is, and let's say I go drop, let's go to the sequencer. Let's go open up the sequencer, and I double click, right? Boom. It's gonna drop all the MIDI files. Now every DAW can do this, drop all the MIDI files in, you know, but this automatically add the sound module to it and use the closest instrument to that MIDI file. So when you play it, I don't want to play that because it might be copyright infringement, but you get what I'm saying? So now you get a quick idea of what that's playing. If you want to use one of the MIDI files to create, you know, an idea from an old sample, like it's like no different than sampling from old school music that you enjoy, and you just want to create a whole different idea from, you know, some people have a problem, you shouldn't be sampling all that, but this is what we do in hip hop. It ain't about copying. It's still an art to do that, but we don't always do it completely, but that's the original sound of hip hop. You get an old school joint and you manipulate it in a whole nother way. But now I got, you know, MIDI files of even some of the top artists of their music, from Michael Jackson to hit records, from 98 Degrees. Look at ABBA, you know, let's keep going. All these, you know, Aerosmith, Beat 5-2s, Backstreet, Bangles, Beast Boys, Billy Idol, you know, Bone, Boys to Men, from our top rappers and everything, like Celine Dion. This is all MIDI of their records, man. Just in case, even if you just want to listen to it. In Vogue, Enigma, Elvis. I got some shit on some shit. And also, if y'all want these right here, you can hit me up, so you can cut the check a little bit. You know, I can definitely send them to you, because it took me a lot to get all this stuff together. You got some MIDI files online for free, but you'll be paying me for the work that I had to do to put all this stuff together over the years. That's the point. But you know, but yeah, so let's keep going. So the point is that the MIDI, you know, that sound module is dope for that, man. That sound module is so dope. I love this, man. When you're dealing with MIDI, it just dropped a MIDI, a sound module on there and pick the best thing that's for it. Let's keep going. The next thing is browser focus. What does that mean? A simple feature. Oh my goodness. If I go to an instrument in my browser, and this is the browser, you see all the stuff in the browser, right? If I go to this one instrument, Europe, and I drop it in, it'll automatically open all the presets for that DAW, for that instrument. They already there. If I double click right here and just go right here and bring it, even if I click this, you know, it'll do it. I can just drop them in, or I could just double click to go through each one of them real quick, very fast. You get what I'm saying? So now if I go to, say I go get this one and drop over that and replace it, you know, once it replace it, Excuse me for the slowness of this raggedy sound card. It replaces and pop up the presets for this instrument. Have all of them right here. Because a lot of the times, once you drag an instrument to the DAW, into the sequencer, you have to go over to the browser, you have to open it up, you have to go inside the effects and go to each one of them and bring them in. Or you got to go up here, you know, and then go through them like this, you know, which is cool. But the point is that it's already directing you to their instruments. So regardless of what you go to, if I go to anything in my rack extension, if I want to go to layers and drop this, you know, preset on layers to my different instrument, it's going to open up the folder for this layer. Right here, all these crazy layer right here, bass, leads, boom, it's already right there in front of your face, man. You can't make that up. All right, number 19, the last. What Studio One does not have, man. And maybe when another video we can come up with some more stuff and find some more stuff, or maybe y'all know something that it has that, you know, that I don't know of, and jot it down at the bottom, man. You know, be sure to do that. A Malstrom Graintable. Reason created this concept. If you don't know this Malstrom Graintable that been with them for years, you need to go watch videos of this joint, man. The concept of it and what it does and how it's designed, right? So it's called the Malstrom Graintable synthesizer. Crazy. I think it's hard, man. It's hard. So for right now, that's the 19 features that Reason has over Studio One. Again, like I was saying, if y'all know any other features that I don't know of, that I skipped past, or, you know, that I couldn't think of, jot them down at the bottom. I'll actually do a video for it. This is YYBY. Peace.